Welcome to The Inner Wonder. I'm Alex and I'm your host. Prisoner's Dilemma is the most famous game in game theory. The story goes as follows. Two prisoners are caught by the police for a crime. The police, however, has not enough evidence to convict both of them completely. Thus, they separate the two prisoners and give them the option to confess for reduced jail time. Each prisoner is faced with an individual option to betray the other prisoner and get a reduced jail time. However, if both prisoners betray each other, they both become worse off than if they stayed loyal to each other. In 1980, Robert Axelrod, a famous economist, created a contest among game theorists and asked them to prepare and submit a strategy for a repeated version of this game, a repeated prisoner's dilemma. Essentially, it's a repeated game of what I just described that has been played for many rounds without knowing the end round. Then, in the contest, the different strategies that were submitted would play against each other to determine a winner. Many strategies were submitted, and the winner was the good tit-for-tat. Practically, the prisoner would remain loyal to the other prisoner in the first round, and for every following round, the player will retaliate with the same action as the one the opponent did just before. So, if in round X, the opponent played confess, then in round X plus 1, good tit-for-tat would play confess as well, and so on. Interestingly, this strategy did not do very well on the head-to-head with other strategies, however, it did win the most points overall. This entry was submitted by Anatol Rapoport. Why is tit-for-tat relevant to us? In my opinion, tit-for-tat has the balance we all should have in business relationships, even in personal relationships, I would argue. It advocates for kindness by starting as loyal and cooperating, but shows the other players that it will not tolerate exploitation by corresponding in the same manner. After a time, the opponent understands that it's in everyone's best interest to simply cooperate, as any other action will make them both worse off in the repeated game, where reputation matters greatly. In retaliating though, tit-for-tat remembers the vital lesson of forgiveness, and in contrast to some other strategies, is willing to forgive others who betrayed and give them a new chance to cooperate if they start doing so. The 3 steps of tit-for-tat to apply in your life. Step 1. Be kind at the beginning. When we meet someone for the very first time, we have the option to be cautious or be willing to trust and be kind, giving them an option. Good tit-for-tat recommends we leave room for trust in the first interaction, behave in a cooperating way with the other person, and showcase our intentions for a positive relationship. Sometimes this can lead you to worse result, as many people will not be so open, but sometimes it will be the start of a great relationship. I often hear many people being afraid to be vulnerable with people they don't know. But as good tit-for-tat advises us, being vulnerable and being open to the possibility of a great relationship can lead us to an ultimate future. Step 2. Make it clear you will not be exploited. A common saying goes, forgive but not forget. By retaliating to your opponent, you pass across a message that it is not okay for them to betray you every time. Imagine a friend who asks you to lend them money and promises to repay you in a week. You start by being kind and offering them the money. If they don't repay you back and they keep on asking for more and more money, there should be a time when you must say no. There comes a point where self-care should act as a mechanism to protect yourself. Step 3. Be willing to forgive and restart a relationship. Your friend then comes to you back and pays everything that you're owed, apologizes for what has happened. Then, be willing to restart the relationship and be kind again. We all do mistakes. What matters is the ability to come back. Never forget what happened, but be ready to forgive. Things can happen to everyone, and that friend might have had some serious reasons for not paying. Be understanding and get ready to restart the relationship once they are cooperating again. Having said that, it's always important to remember we're humans, not machines, even if sometimes we wish to be machines. It's impossible to keep an accurate count of what everyone around you has done to you and what you did to them. It's also very difficult to classify what means to cooperate or what it means not to. In addition, we should also keep in mind we have feelings and emotions. Conventional game theory strategy assumes rationality in players, which is clearly not evident in real interactions. Nonetheless, there's a simple principle here, and it's important to keep in mind as a benchmark and a reminder of how we behave with the people around us. This mechanism has the potential to lead us to greater friendships, relationships, and more powerful business partnerships. It can boost the effectiveness of our interactions and how we feel about them. It's a good tit-for-tat, and it follows a simple 3-step approach. First, be kind and trust at the beginning. Step 2, don't allow yourself to be exploited. Retaliate if necessary. Step 3, forgive, but do not forget. Be ready to restart a relationship if signs of cooperation exist, but remember that if necessary, step 2 might need to appear again. So, enjoy the game, thinkers. Until our minds meet again, enjoy the inner wonder you're creating. Thanks everybody, see you next episode.